Here's a really quick mystery of history for you. The Three Brothers, also known as the Three Brethren, was a piece of jewelry created in the late 14th century. It's known for having been owned by a number of important medieval figures. Among them, Duke John the Fearless of Burgundy, the German banker Jacob Fugger, and Queen Elizabeth I, and King James VI and I. It was part of the English crown jewels from 1551 to 1644, when it was possibly sold by Henrietta Maria, the wife of Charles I. The reason that it's a mystery is because its whereabouts after 1645 are lost to history, but it's actually a really pretty piece if you take a look at it. The jewel remained almost unchanged for more than 250 years, and it's the biggest thing that I think is noted when I look this up and look into it. It's supposed to be a shoulder clasp or a pendant. It has these 3 red spinels. I guess they're called ballast rubies, 70 carats each, triangular arrangement, and it's separated by 3 round white pearls of 10 to 20 carats each. Another pearl is suspended from the lowest spinel. In the middle of the pendant was a deep blue diamond cut in a simple pyramid shape and weighing 30 carats. And when it made its first appearance in history, that of Duke Philip the Good of Burgundy in 1419, it is described as a very fine and precious buckle adorned in the middle with a big diamond and surrounded by 3 fine square stones called the Three Brothers, and the 3 very fine pearls in between these. Under this buckle hangs a large fine pearl in the shape of a pear. And in 1587, the Three Brothers are listed among jewels delivered to Elizabeth Mary Radcliffe, and it's described as a fair flower with 3 great balances, and in the midst of great pointed diamond and 3 great pearls set with a fair great pendant pearl called the Brethren. Wikipedia states that it was commissioned by Duke John the Fearless of Burgundy in the late 1380s, so this thing is old school. It was one of the most precious treasures of the House of Burgundy, created by Parisian goldsmith Herman Rissel in 1389. Crazy that they even have that written down still, but you know, it's not too crazy. A bill and receipt still exists in the coded departmental archives in Dijon, and after receiving it in the 1390s, Duke John pawned the jewel in 1412, but he then redeemed it at some point before 1419. Anyway, let's skip ahead, because in 1504 it was sold to Augsburg banker Jacob Fugger after a year of negotiations. A merchant by trade, he had become one of the wealthiest individuals in history by selling textiles and metals. Basil's sale included the brothers and 3 other pieces of jewelry from Charles's hoard: the Fetterlin, little feather, the Gertelin, little garter, and the white rose, for a total price of 40,000 florins. That's enough to pay 3,300 common laborers for a year. That's a lot of money. While this constituted a significant expense, he made many such transactions over the years, and the price pales in comparison to his total assets, which reached more than 2 million guilders at his death in 1525. Fugger had already had Emperor Maximilian I in mind as a buyer when he bought the jewels, but later balked at the exorbitant asking price and bought everything but the brothers. And it stayed with Fugger for almost 50 years until his nephew Anton, who is now running the family business, decided to liquidate part of his family possession. Anyway, I don't want to bore you. If we move down further, when the details of this transaction are obscure, the negotiation between the Fuggers and the English crown about purchasing the brothers probably began under King Henry VIII, and as the Renaissance monarch, he was expected to appear magnificent. As John Fortescue argued in his hugely influential 15th century treatise, The Governance of England, a king needed rich clothes, rich furs, and rich stones. As early as 1544, a letter from the Fugger office in Antwerp mentioned the imminent departure of an employee with the jewels to be sold to Henry. However, negotiations dragged on until Henry died in 1547 and were only concluded in May of 1551 by his successor, the then 14-year-old Edward VI. In his diary, the king wrote that he in fact had to buy the jewel from Anthony Folker, which is the same person, Fugger, for the princely sum of 100,000 crowns because the monarchy owned their bank. The transaction was recorded in an update to the inventory of Henry VIII of England, after which the brothers became part of the crown jewels of the United Kingdom. Basically, the jewels bounced around, and at the end of Henrietta's trip in 1643, the trail of the jewels began to disappear. There's no record of her selling or pawning the pendant in the Netherlands, and Humphrey posits that the brothers returned with her to England. As the country descended into the First English Civil War between Charles and Parliament, Henrietta fled to to Paris in 1644, where she again immediately attempted to raise funds. Once more, local markets showed little interest, but in early 1645, she did succeed in selling an unnamed piece of jewelry for the comparatively low price of 104,000 guilders. It was described as a pyramidal diamond, 3 ballast rubies, 4 pearls with the addition of a table-cut diamond of 30 carats and 2 pointed diamonds. It very closely matches the original description of the 3 brothers, which might have been altered by adding smaller diamonds. However, there is no definite proof that this was the same item. A contemporary letter to Henrietta's secretary identifies 2 hog sellers with gemstone dealers, Thomas Kletcher and Joachim D. I can't pronounce that name, Wickfork, and possibly middlemen or buyers of the unnamed jewel. Kletcher had already been involved in the pawning of the Mirror of Great Britain in 1625 and would therefore have been familiar with Henrietta and the crown jewels. The ultimate fate of the brothers after 1645 is unknown. It has been suggested that the jewel was broken up, bought by a French chief minister, Cardinal Mazarin, or sold to an anonymous buyer throughout the bank in Rotterdam. Long-standing speculation points to the possibility the pendant was modified to create a jewel called the Three Sisters, which is offered to Frederick Henry, Prince of Orange, around the time of Henrietta's sale. However, besides a possible coincidental similarity in naming, there is no hard evidence to suggest that the brothers became the sisters. For its all importance, the jewel is lost to history. In pop culture, the only time it was brought up is in the novel The Love of Stones in 2001, where it charts the lives of several real and fictional persons coming in contact with this jewel, the 3 brothers. Anyway, I just thought I'd update you with a really cool little mystery for the day. If you liked it, hit sub and like. If not, hit downvote, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, and keep an eye out for other quick little mysteries uploaded here on UNIRock 2. See you next time. UNIRock out.